shining star. My shining star, girl. Yo, New York is in the house. And Brook-Lin in the house. Uptown in the house. Down in the house. Boogie down in the house.
Sacramento, who doesn't care? We don't care about Sacramento, G-Buddy. I had to stop myself.
Wow.
G-Buddy.
Now tell
I had
us
to
how
stop
you really
myself.
feel about Sacramento.
You don't care about Sacramento. But the big news, G-Money, this week. Well, first off, everybody, welcome to the Fast Break Podcast on this Independence Day weekend. And G-Money, how you doing this weekend?
I'm doing fine. I mean, we just received some big news. As you know, I'm a big Brook-Lin Nets fan. And I'm telling you, Brook-Lin just made a big splash a couple of days ago. We got to talk about the whole NBA free agency, but mainly the Brook-Lin Nets.
G-Money, as we heard off the top, Brook-Lin in the house. And G-Money, we have to tell our viewers from the very beginning, I have been on the Jeremy Lin bandwagon since Palo Alto, maybe even a little bit before Harvard. You have not had one nice word to say about Brother Lin ever since he burst on the scene. What do you have to say now that he is officially a New Jersey Net for at least the next 2 to 3 years?
I have always been loyal to the team, not to an individual player. I don't like a lot of players in this league. Let's say LeBron James decided to sign with the Brook-Lin Nets. I would be a fan of him, and I would want him to play well. The same thing goes with Jeremy Lin. I view him as an average backup point guard.
What, average backup?
Yes, a backup point guard.
Well, let me
on the Brook-Lin
Did you
Nets,
say average point guard? Is that what you meant to say? Because you said average backup point guard.
I view him as a backup point guard. Do you not? Do you really view him as a starting point guard here in the NBA?
I think at the very least he's an average starter. I think he could be an above average starter.
I think he's I take that back, an above average backup point guard. How about that? I will give you that. Now on the Brook-Lin Nets, obviously, we what are you doing? I mean, we don't need this strip show right now. We're talking serious stuff right now.
I have no idea what you just said, but we barely started the show and you're already bashing Brother Lin. But
I'm not bashing anybody. I'm just saying that I am gonna root for Jeremy Lin because he's on the Brook-Lin Nets, not because he's Jeremy Lin like you do. You go from player to player and you root for their team as well as the player. So that I don't agree with. I agree that you're supposed to root for the team first and the player second.
Well, let's take in terms of the contract, you have to be pretty pleased. I mean, they had Antonio Davis on ESPN, and they were talking about how he was exacerbated. He was stunned that Jeremy Lin got, 3 years, $36 million the last year as a player option.
You had an audible reaction just now when I read those numbers out loud.
In his three-point territory, but guarded tightly. Johnson cuts left, now fires a three. It is good, and he's fouled.
Out loud. Why, Antonio?
When you take a look at some of these NBA salaries with the exploding cap, that's actually one of the few reasonable ones.
Well, that is reasonable, but when I first saw that, I thought they were overpaying. I thought the Brook-Lin Nets were overpaying them. And I thought that Jeremy Lin was only going to Brooklyn for the money. Because obviously, even as a Brooklyn Nets fan, I can accept fate. All right. They're going to be pretty much near last place because they have basically nobody there. They have a bunch of rookies and they just trade away Thaddeus Young. All right. They have a bunch of rookies. And for some odd reason, beyond my comprehension, Brook Lopez is there. Brook Lopez could have gone anywhere he wanted to. He decided
Brook-Lin in the house.
He decided to stay with the Nets, and he's the only other big chip that they have. So we know that they're going to be in last place. So Jeremy Lin is basically going there for the money, and I have no problem with that. But I'm just saying that with these other contracts, I do think that Jeremy Lin, his contract is reasonable. But at first glance, I thought it was a little too much.
The head coach of your New Jersey Nets is Kenny Atkinson, who was on the New York Knicks.
Disagree. It's a Brook-Lin Nets. Brook-Lin Nets.
What did I say?
You said the New Jersey Nets, which is
that's how irrelevant.
Let's keep this
irrelevant they are. I unconsciously did. That's how irrelevant they are. But anyway, Kenny Atkinson is the head coach of the Brook-Lin Nets. Kenny Atkinson was on the Mike D'Antoni staff back when Jeremy Lin was in New York during the Linsanity phase. So I think he's got a tight bond with the coach, and they're going to let him start. And he really wants to prove he's an NBA starter.
I do feel like Brook-Lin is trying to get their act together after Billy King just basically threw away their whole future on a couple of oldies like Pierce and Garnett. So they basically gifted Boston their entire future right now. Brooklyn could have signed Al Horford, right? Instead, Boston took him. Brooklyn could have done a lot of things if they didn't have that ridiculous trade made for Gerald Wallace a few years ago to try to convince that Darren Williams to stay, right? Gerald Wallace for the number 6 pick in the NBA draft would turn into Damian Lillard, which is ridiculous. So Brooklyn made a lot of mistakes. Hopefully they get their act together. Hopefully this new GM, Marks and Atkinson the coach can finally turn things around.
But G-Money, I'm going to have to make a couple trips to Brooklyn this year.
Look, I'm telling you right now, we don't want any bandwagon fans. All right. I understand that not a lot of true fans are in Brooklyn, but we want to try to keep Brooklyn. Brooklyn is very they're just a new franchise
in the house.
They're a relatively new franchise. I think if we can get obviously Jeremy Lin. Obviously, did you hear what Stephon Marbury said? Jeremy Lin was brought to Brooklyn to get the Asian fans involved.
Stephon Marbury. Let me tell you about Stephon Marbury. I've been following his career in China, and I think he brought back-to-back titles to the Beijing Ducks. And then he's a god over there. They built a statue for him. He's basically an honorary citizen. And for him to do this, I think he just lost millions of fans in China. His statue is probably vandalized by now.
Is there anything that said that isn't true? I believe that Jeremy Lin was brought here because Brooklyn wanted to bring more fans to the arena, more true fans to the arena.
Well, I think Kenny Atkinson has a close relationship and believes in him more than anything else.
Is it Kenny Atkinson, or what about Mike D'Antoni? Why didn't Jeremy Lin try to find his way back to Houston? I think
he's had enough. Look, everyone's had. I was in Houston. Everyone's had enough of James Harden. You see it in free agency. Kevin Durant didn't even want an interview, really. Al Horford decided he's peacing out.
Al Horford got the max.
Al Horford had a meeting and said,
he get the max from Boston. He really got a good deal from Boston.
I'm sure Houston would have thrown him similar money. He said no thank you to Houston. Dwight Howard busted tail as fast as he could. And then we can talk about we'll touch on what Houston did, but here are some of the latest signings, G-Money, that just came down the pipe today. Al Horford making a staggering 4 years, $113 million. That's $28 million a year on average. And the Rockets, it seems like the best they could do is Ryan Anderson, 4 years, $80 million, $20 million a year for who I consider a one-dimensional player who's injury prone. I think he's played over 66 games one time in his entire career. And then Bismack Biyombo, I don't know what the Magic are doing for it. They let themselves get ripped off with the Ibaka trade for Oladipo and a couple lottery pick. I think they let themselves get ripped off by the Thunder. And then they go out and they sign Bismack Biyombo for 4 years, $72 million. That's $18 million a year. And to cap it all off, we don't even need to bring in Chandler Parsons. That was yesterday's, and he was max contract. The reports are Harrison Barnes, 4 years, $95 million by Mark Cuban. The same man who said Russell Westbrook is not a superstar is now reportedly throwing $95 million at Harrison Barnes. I don't know if he's panicking, losing his mind.
No, I think some of the GMs are really panicking because this money is being thrown around. If you don't give the players at least $15 million a year, they're not going to sign with you, right? So you got to throw out the first offer is probably like $15 million. Okay, we'll offer you $15 million and then go from there. So, I think all the teams right now are scrambling. The teams that are not getting those free agents are scrambling and overpaying for people.
And, I don't want to complain about other people's money because, it's a private business. They can make as much as they want. But, in baseball, you see ridiculous contracts all the time. But at least it happens to, the star players, at least, CC Sabathia gets 100-some mil, and Giancarlo Stanton gets 300 mil, Pujols, Mike Trout, I mean, whoever. But you don't see role players in baseball, utility players get these sort of monster contracts. And I know the teams have to spend a certain amount of money, but it is staggering. Now, if you're the Warriors, I'm reading some credible sources or reporters, verified reporters in Dallas or Golden State. They're tweeting that Golden State will probably match if they don't get Durant. I don't get that. Why would you match 4 for 95?
Harrison Barnes cost them the NBA Finals. I believe I mentioned that before. He basically cost them the NBA Finals by missing a ton of shots. He was struggling the last 3 or 4 games in that series. So I don't know why you would want to bring him back, especially not on a max contract.
I say you just go to the D League and find the best small forward in the D League, sign him for the minimum, and plug him in for 20 minutes a game.
I believe he'll have the same amount of production as Harrison Barnes. I guarantee you that. And where did Harrison Barnes go, by the way?
No, well, the rumor is that Dallas is going to sign him to the offer sheet, and then Golden State would have 3 days to decide whether or not they're going to match the contract to bring him back.
Well, I guarantee you that he ain't winning anything in Dallas.
How about Chandler I know I didn't want to talk about, but how about Chandler Parsons getting the max from Memphis, and Memphis also throws out the richest contract in NBA history. Mike Conley set to make 30+ mil a year for a guy who hasn't made. And granted, the West has tons of great point guards, but this is a guy who hasn't made an all-star team in his life.
That was a head scratcher right there. I don't understand why Memphis was so. It just sounded like Memphis was desperate to bring him back. That's all. I mean, I think Memphis was afraid to lose him. They didn't have a backup plan, and obviously they just threw too much money at him that he couldn't refuse it.
And what about this career trajectory? I don't know if you remember, G Money, but it wasn't that long ago when Greg Oden was the person everyone was talking about at Ohio State, and Mike Conley was just his teammate point guard who was overlooked. And now, fast forward, 7-8 years, whatever it is, Mike Conley set to be the richest, has the richest contract in the NBA, and Greg Oden is, I don't even know where he is.
Yeah, he has the richest contract today, as of today in the NBA. But tomorrow, somebody else could surpass him. So with another crazy deal. So I don't understand why the NBA is raising the salary cap.
Well,
right?
It's because the TV contracts, ESPN and TNT are basically throwing the league billions. So, this is what happens. Either the owners can keep all the money, or they can share 50-50 with the players, and then you're going to see these salaries.
I think the owners should have kept some of that money. I mean, I don't think the players deserve that much because they have no motivation to want to play well. Yeah, in the past, you're motivated to play well so you can get that next contract. Right now, you're already making the max. Harrison Barnes, he doesn't even have to play anymore. He could just go out there and just stand around doing nothing, and he's making whatever he's making. He's a multimillionaire right now. So I mean, I don't think it matters to it's just not motivation anymore to these players.
Well, I think if they want to win, they're still going to play pretty hard. Now, I do want to touch on the biggest free agent out there that is still sort of unknowns, just a lot of different information. We don't know what it is. Kevin Durant met with the Celtics. There's a picture of Tom Brady was part of the recruiting squad. I don't know what does Kevin Durant like Tom Brady? I don't know what their backstory is. But if you're Kevin Durant, I mean, is this all a dog and pony show? Or why would you want to leave OKC, especially if you want to be a free agent again next year when the cap explodes even further? So I think everyone believes he's going to sign a 1-year deal. I don't. What do you think?
I think he wants more. I think he wants more than 1 year or 2 years. I think he wants a multi-year deal, just in case maybe he gets hurt or something like that next year or next season. So I think he will want more than 1 year, which I think the reason Tom Brady's there is to emphasize winning, right? Tom Brady has been there before. He knows what it takes to win.
But it's not like Tom Brady's going to be on the team helping him out.
Right, but he knows the mentality. He knows the mentality of a winner. And I think Boston, what Boston's doing right there by
What's he going to
signing
tell?
out,
What's he going to tell Kevin Durant? Let the air out of the ball.
hopefully he's giving them some good advice. But I think
Don't break your cell phone. Don't hand over your cell phone.
I think by signing out Horford, I mean the Celtics look like a pretty decent destination. But I'm hearing that maybe the Warriors are the front runners to sign him. What do you think about that?
I think if Kevin Durant wants to cement his legacy or take his legacy to the next level by winning a title, I think going to the Warriors is a mistake. If he goes to the Warriors and he wins a title, I don't think anyone's going to view that as a legit championship on his resume or his belt. Now, if he won in OKC, that's fine. You started there. I know a couple years ago, LeBron and Bosh teamed up with Wade, but at least that was kind of a new team, a team that, you know, was floundering around 500, got bounced in the first round without him. At least they were sort of forming a new thing together. But if he goes to Golden State or even San Antonio, if he goes to a ready-win squad that already won 73 games, 67 games. If he goes to one of those teams and then wins a title, I just don't see. Now, if he goes to Boston, that's different because they're starting something new. But if he goes to Golden State or the Spurs and wins a title, I don't see that as all right. You're a champion now. It's like it was too easy.
It all counts the same. It all counts the same in the end. And I think that a lot of people have lost a lot of respect if he does do that. But KD, I think KD just wants to win a title, and he was very close in OKC. They just signed Victor Oladipo. I mean, they just traded for Victor Oladipo, which is no joke. Victor can actually play.
Off the Magic for that, yeah.
Yeah, Victor can play. So if you have Victor,
you're on a first name basis with Victor Oladipo.
Yeah, I think he was on my fantasy team, so I know he can actually play. Victor and Westbrook and Durant, that could be a formidable group. I mean, and then you have those two in the middle, right? Steven Adams is still there, and Enes Kanter. Are they free agents? I don't think they're free agents.
No,
I don't think they're going anywhere. They're still there. So all you lost is Ibaka, which they can replace with one of those two guys. So I think KD has a pretty sweet team in OKC right now.
I think he should do what LeBron's probably going to do, sign a 1-year contract with a player option for the second year. If all goes well for the first year, you opt out, and then you get that super max deal when the salary cap skyrockets even more. If OKC does well, all right, I'll stick around. If they're doing terrible, I'm opting out and I'm piecing out. I think that's what you should do at this point.
I don't understand player options because if you're OKC, why would you want to do something like that? Why would you want to keep Durant for 1 year?
You will do anything to bring him back.
Right. That's why you would want to give him a multi-year deal instead of just a 1-year deal.
Yeah, I don't think KD is going to sign because he wants that super duper max extension that everyone wants next year when the salary cap, I think, goes over $100 million.
All I'm saying is the NBA is getting out of control with this money stuff, so hopefully it doesn't affect the game itself.
I think the players will be plenty motivated. Any more general points on the NBA, this free agency madness? Anything we're missing, G Money?
Did you want to touch on what the Knicks have done? Since you're still a big Knicks fan, I'm assuming.
That's right. I completely forgot that. Yes, the New York Knicks have positioned themselves to win the 2013 NBA championship. Unfortunately, we're living in 2016 right now, so it might be a little bit late. But I like what I see. Derrick Rose at the point. Derrick Rose, Courtney Lee at the 2. Carmelo at the 3. Porzingis at the 4. And I got to change my logo now that we shared that. Porzingis at the 4 and Joakim Noah at the 5. They're either going to have a lot. There's either going to be a lot of trips to the clubs after they win games, or a lot of trips to Mount Sinai Hospital. I'm not sure which one yet, though.
Well, did you hear about Joakim Noah? Randomly meeting Phil Jackson on a New York City street corner, and Joakim Noah to show that his shoulder was healthy because he separated his shoulder, like I believe last year. He asked Phil Jackson to do some pull-ups on his arms.
I did read that, and I thought, wow, what if he separated his shoulder? Can you still pull the contract back?
And that's what made Phil Jackson confident that Joakim Noah was healthy. Can you believe that?
I saw that somewhere, but that's got to be one of those. Someone just made that up, and it was a good story.
I think didn't Phil Jackson tell the story himself?
Uh, I'm not sure what Phil Jackson may or may not have told, but I will say I do like what I see so far. At the very least, we should be getting back to the playoffs, and Derrick Rose will be very. This is a great deal. Derrick Rose is on a contract year. If he's terrible, let him walk. You gave up nothing for him.
You gave up Robin Lopez.
Robin Lopez he's a serviceable center, but he's not going to take you anywhere. Calderon's dead weight. Jerry Grant is basically average at best.
Jerry Grant is the next Derrick Rose.
you don't mean that. The Knicks are, I think now, I wonder how much truth there is to Dwayne Wade possibly leaving what if Dwayne Wade says, you know what, Carmelo, let's just play around next year and see what happens.
I don't think he'll leave Miami. I think if he does leave Miami, there will be pitchforks at his house. All right. Dwayne Wade is the Miami Heat. He will always be in Miami Heat.
No,
he's not leaving
talking
anywhere.
to New York, they say he's talking to Milwaukee because he went to college in Marquette and he's comfortable in the area.
I think it just is just a ploy to get Miami to pony up more money for him. That's all.
And if you're Miami, why don't you? You just gave Hassan Whiteside $100 million contract.
I don't understand what Miami's waiting, but obviously they're concerned about Dwayne Wade's age. Maybe he's slowing down a little bit. Maybe, who knows? But I don't think Dwayne Wade deserves another max contract. I can tell you that.
And I don't know if you saw, speaking of the Miami, Luol Deng, I think to the LA Lakers.
By the way, I want to touch on the Lakers. Are they getting desperate or are they getting desperate? They gave Timothy Mozgov. What a backup role-playing center, right? Timothy Mozgov.
A role-playing center.
Yeah, He's just a role player. He couldn't even shine LeBron's shoes when he was in Cleveland. They gave him what was it, like over $15 million a year or $20 million a year?
He got a little over 15. I think it's 4 years, $64 million is what I think. What I remember.
Right, that's $20 million. That's over $20 million a year.
No, 4 years. No, 4 years, 64.
4 years.
Aren't you an accountant?
Yeah, it's $15 million a year. That's over $15 million a year. And I'm just saying that's I don't understand what the Lakers are doing. They also gave
and you're telling me you let someone go at your job this week.
Well, I thought it was 6 years, but it turned out to be 4 years. So 4 years, $60 million a year. That is just ridiculous.
Well, look, he looked great in the 2015 finals. If they played OKC, he probably would have had some more time to shine. But because of the matchups against Golden State, there was just really no use for him. And speaking of that note, that you see, every bad contract or every contract that looks inflated to us, that just reminds me of a different one. Matthew Dellavedova, 4 years, $38 million. I mean, does Jason Kidd see himself in this guy? And here's the funny part. Cleveland has 3 days to match. And they haven't said what they're going to do, but LeBron James already tweeting like, "Hey, congrats, man!"
Yeah, I don't think they're going to match that. I mean, that's ridiculous. They don't need Matthew Dellavedova to win a championship clearly because they obviously did it without him.
$10 million a year, pretty much.
Well, is he going to be a starting point guard
in Milwaukee? I doubt it.
Who's Milwaukee's point guard at this point?
I think they still got Jared Bayless, right? And the Chris Middleton. You know what? Jason Kidd says he has been doing. He did it last year. He played Antetokounmpo, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Am I saying that right? Antetokounmpo. They've been playing him. He's being like point forward.
Well, I guess so, but I think Matthew Dellavedova as a backup point guard does not deserve over $10 million a year. So obviously the NBA is going all haywire. Backup point guards are making over $10 million a year. Backup role players are making over $10 million, $15 million a year. I just don't understand this. Sooner or later, you're going to have a $200 million contract out there, and it will be to someone who doesn't even who's barely off the bench.
Austin Rivers, by the way, this was also today. Austin Rivers back to the Clippers, 3 years, $35 million, and that's. I wish if I had a son today, this is what I would say. Son, I got 5 words for you. Pick up a basketball.
No. Do you think that Doc Rivers actually negotiated that contract directly with his son or through his agent?
I don't know. Can you imagine them sitting at the dinner table like, Dad? Like,
you got to talk to my agent. I don't want to discuss any.
Son,
any contract.
Dad, I want $10 million a year. Let me see what I can do, son.
I think Austin is just going to be referred to my agent.
I mean, it's going to. I'm sure we'll have more free agent updates, especially because from what I've been reading online, KD is supposed to be making a decision after the July 4th holiday weekend. So word of that should be coming. Sounds like it's coming down to either OKC, maybe Boston, maybe Golden State. I guess Spurs are kind of maybe in the mix. LA Clippers supposedly blew him away. We'll see. And I'll give KD respect for this. Even though he signed with Rock Nation, I read he told Jay-Z, no, I'm not mean the Knicks. Even though he's in, I don't get, why are they in the Hamptons? Why?
Well, he said he's not meeting with the Brook-Lin Nets
or the Knicks. Not even a courtesy call. Even though Jay-Z
did the Knicks want to meet with him?
Oh yeah, and I'm sure Jay-Z and this was reported too by I think Wojnarowski over at the Vertical Yahoo. I think KD Jay-Z asked him to hey take a meeting with these guys, and KD's like nah.
Well, I was right. He wasn't going to sign with any New York teams anyway. So why waste?
You thought he might just do him a favor and just listen.
Why waste anybody's time? I mean, it's just a big show anyway. Like LeBron did like a few years ago. He met with the Nets. Did he meet with the Knicks? And then he wasn't going to any of those places. He was just gonna. He knew he was going to Miami. So why waste anybody's time?
All right, G Money. Let's move on to our next topic. This was a hot button story. Apparently the Red Cross had a safety poster that someone wasn't very happy with, and I did a little background. This poster is not new. This poster has been around. Can you see the poster, G Money?
Yeah, I see it.
Do you see my mouse scrolling across too?
Yep.
Okay. So this poster has been around since 2014, and it says, "Be cool, follow the rules." But some people are very upset. They said this poster is racist because all the kids that are acting not cool are black, or at least the vast majority of black kids.
No, I see one white kid with a beard there.
Well, we'll get to that in a sec. Now, there's one right there pushing African-American, pushing someone in the pool, another African-American in the pool, not cool. I don't know what he's doing for that to be not cool, to be honest. And then you have another one.
Water.
What? What's he doing?
I think he has something in his mouth, doesn't he?
I don't think so, but I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. Then you have this other kid who's not cool, I suppose because he's diving off the board. But then again, if you don't want kids diving off the board, why do you have a freaking board at the pool? I don't get it. So, G-Money, a lot of people said this was racist. The American Red Cross, I think if they just didn't say anything, I'm not sure, I'm not sure what would have happened. But I think they blew up the story even bigger. They came out and said, we apologize. We're removing this, and we're going to fix it. G-Money, what is your stance on this poster? Is it or is it not racist?
Well, if you didn't point out all that you pointed out, I wouldn't even have noticed. So, I mean, I wouldn't have noticed black, white, or whatever, because I see a white guy walking with a beard that says not cool, right? So, I mean,
I've heard some online posters say that guy's actually Hispanic or Asian.
I wouldn't. I think he's just white. I mean, everybody who's in the picture who's white is white. Anybody who's colored is colored. So I see also a colored lifeguard there. So I don't understand. I wouldn't even have noticed if nobody pointed it out.
Now, as is most conversations about race in America, the Asians don't even have a seat at the table. I don't even see any of them at the pool. Are they home already studying for their SATs or something?
Well, why didn't anybody bring that up? Why aren't they Asians in there?
Well, I saw someone on the thread, Reddit or Twitter thread from the original person who posted it. Someone said this kid up here was Asian, and then someone else, and this is when people are just way over analyzing this. Someone said this kid was Asian, and then someone else said, no, he's not Asian. If he's Asian, he would look red right now because the Asians have that Asian glow, and they had like a link to the whole Asian glow theory about why they turn red. But anyway, here's my breakdown. So you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 African-American kids involved in not cool scenarios, right?
Yeah.
Then you have two kids, not African-American. This kid, is he Hispanic? Who knows? I mean, he could be Filipino for all we know. But anyway, not black. 2 kids who are actually doing not cool stuff as well. Do you think if they just switched the color of one of these kids and made it, three black kids doing some stuff not cool, 3 not black kids doing stuff not cool, do you think that would have evened things out? Is that pretty much all they needed? Just one person made the difference, maybe?
I think that would have eased a lot of people's. First of all, I don't have any problem with this picture to begin with, but maybe if they switch one black for one white, maybe it'll be a different story. But why did the story happen? Somebody,
Someone posted it and said this is not cool.
and that took it because of one person posted it. Everybody was jumping on the bandwagon,
and then it took off. And then people said, you know what, that is not cool. But then at first, when I looked at it, I kind of had the same reaction. Now, here's how they could have avoided this mess. Take this cool arrow, point it at this lifeguard over here, and take this kid or this kid or this kid, and make them not black. And then you'd have 3 kids who are colored, black, whatever doing something not cool. You have 3 kids who are white, Hispanic, who knows? You can't tell what their race is. But three people, other people who are doing stuff not cool, and then you have one cool white family here, and then a cool lifeguard here, and then I don't think anyone would have had an issue.
I think people are just overly sensitive these days to race, to religion, to anything that's controversial right now. So they just want to bring up anything that's controversial and throw it out there.
I think at least, if you're the Red Cross, do you apologize? Because,
No, there's nothing to apologize for. You just say, hey, this poster has been up since what, 2014?
I think it's been there since they came up with it in 2014.
And it's been out there since then.
Yeah, I think, and it just spread last week.
Right. So obviously not a lot of people had a problem with it until social media took over.
That's what it sounds like.
So basically, it wouldn't have any problem if nobody posted it.
Well, I don't know how many people had. Obviously, someone had a problem with it, and that's why they posted it to social media in the first place.
Well, one person, and then everybody was like, all right, I agree with this person. They just like to jump on the new topic right now and have an opinion on it. But all I'm saying is that poster, if you don't look that closely at it, you wouldn't have a problem with it.
Well, I think the point is you should look closely at it because it's expressing safety.
Well, it's obvious, right? Don't drink beer at the pool. Don't do. They have rules there at the pool, so I mean, it's just to me, it's just a funny poster that they had to instruct people on what to do and not to do.
All right, let's moving on to your second half topic, G Money.
Well, as you know, the tennis world, the tennis tournament called Wimbledon has begun. I don't know if a lot of people are watching out there, but the number 1 seed on the men's side, Novak Djokovic, who was in pursuit of a year Grand Slam, right? He won the Australian Open, and he also won the French Open this year. He was going for his 3rd Grand Slam of the year, and it all ended in a loss to American Sam Querrey in 4 sets. Now, I can't say that I'm very disappointed about it, but it did look like Novak Djokovic did have some injury issues, which led to this. There was a rain delay involved also. So I can't say I'm that happy. I can't say that I'm that sad that he lost because, I like to see somebody else win. For once, Novak has been winning every Grand Slam since the last French Open in 2015, where he lost to Wawrinka. So he's been on a tear lately, and I think that it's time for somebody else to step up. What do you think?
Yeah, Roger Federer.
No, I don't think. I want somebody new. I want somebody like Niels Raonic, maybe to win a Grand Slam. Somebody who hasn't won before.
I tweeted when Querrey went up 2-0. I said, Roger Federer's last best chance to win a major is in Sam Querrey's racket right now. And then the rains came, and obviously Djokovic benefited from it because he came back and basically smoked Querrey in the first set of the which would be the 3rd set today after the rain delay from yesterday. And then unfortunately for him, it looked like when he was starting to click, there was another rain delay. And then Sam Querrey got his stuff together. And it looks like Novak was just mentally drained. He's just mentally drained from everything he's had to go through. Winning the French Open was huge for him. And I think he just had nothing left emotionally. I think it was more of a mental thing than maybe it was a physical thing too. He's just been so busy. And I think it was all too much handle. And Sam Querrey just regrouped, and good for him. I don't see him going much further, but it certainly opens up the draw for everyone else. I think
usually when an underdog upsets a major player in a tournament, they lose the next round because they're so mentally drained from beating that player. So hopefully Sam Querrey can take it farther, but I think this tournament is it's not wide open because I think Andy Murray has the best shot right now to win it because he's still one of the top seeds. He's 1 1/8 to Djokovic right now. So go ahead.
Yeah, I have to go back to Federer. I didn't like the way he looked in the first round. He looked a lot better in the second round, but that was against like a tennis instructor basically. And then the third round, he actually looked pretty solid in. And then he basically has another cupcake matchup, Steve Johnson. And then the match after that, I think will either be Kei Nishikori or Marin Cilic. That'll be a challenge. Hopefully Nishikori can pull it off. I think matchup wise, he matches up with Nishikori better. But there's without Djokovic, I mean, if he can get his act together, Andy Murray may be the only guy stopping him. Wawrinka got upset, he's gone. So I think Roger Federer has a 50-50 shot right now.
Where's Tomas Berdych? He's in there somewhere.
No, I think he's in Murray's draw. Federer would have to beat this Steve Johnson guy in the fourth round. Then he has to beat Cilic or Nishikori in the semis, in the quarters. And then the semis would have been Djokovic, but now we don't know who that's going to be. Might be is Raonic in the draw? Yeah, I think Raonic is on that side of the draw.
Yeah, so, I think Raonic has the best shot in that section. Raonic is coming into his own. The other section, obviously, Andy Murray. I think Raonic has a good shot to actually take this all the way if he can get through his section.
Maybe, but I still think he's a little too dependent on that serve. He needs to round out his game a little bit more. He's much improved. I think John McEnroe has done a good job with him.
Is he the coach?
Yeah, he's with John McEnroe now.
Well, I think Raonic will definitely be a force to be reckoned with going into the major tournaments. But he's really got to get his act together. Nishikori is up and down. I don't know if he can actually pull it through. Marin Cilic, didn't he win the U.S. Open a couple of years ago? So he's got a shot, but it's still Andy Murray's tournament to lose.
All right, so you like Andy Murray. Anything else on Wimbledon before we move on to our final segment?
No, I think I'm good on that.
All right, G-Money, let's move on to our final segment. As everyone knows or maybe doesn't know, I used to work in Houston where crazy stuff happens all the time. And boy, every day it's just something different. This is from June 30th. You saw a car. Did you see a car zip by, G-Money? Take a look, left-hand side, right there.
I
that car zipped by, and then this was a police chase that reached speeds of 126 miles per hour. Look at that car right there. It is on the wrong side. Look at all the traffic on the right side. Do you see the traffic on the right side of the road?
Right, I see it.
That person is driving on the wrong side of the road. Then, look at that. Look at that. It's on the wrong side of the shoulder of the wrong side of the road. The police going after, there were two people in this car, and finally, I think OnStar was able to disable the engine, and this clip was actually missing a part where the car actually drove in between two other cars, in between two cars in oncoming traffic, just sort of, split the difference right down the middle.
How did they get a video of that?
Police dash cam video.
I saw the police car also in the video.
Yeah, there were probably multiple police cars. Anyway, so inside that car was a 12-year-old girl.
Well, that's who was driving?
The 12-year-old girl.
No, I don't believe that.
No, that's this, and she had a little sister, 5 years old, with her. They took grandma reported them missing, thought someone abducted them, and drove off. As it turns out, the 12-year-old girl took the car and went off,
The 12-year-old girl was driving 120 miles an hour.
126 miles an hour, like she was Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Well, I guess she's got a new career. I mean, when she grows up, that's what she's got to do. She's got to be.
She's being held right now. And guess why? Guess why she took the car where she was going. Guess what she told police.
Why she ran away from home? She was running away from home.
She told police she was going to see her boyfriend.
I don't believe that for a second. I think it's just a made-up story that I don't know. No, 12-year-old.
She's in custody. It's not made up. She's in custody.
Well, I think there's some loose ends to the story that we need to tighten up a little bit.
All right, G Money, what is your what the heck segment or story of the week?
Well, it has something to do with my job, but I'm not going to mention where I work. But I'm just going to ask you this question: how long do you have to work to get unemployment benefits? How long do you have to work at a job to receive unemployment benefits?
I actually have no clue. I've never like a week.
Well, it did shock me that after 2 weeks, we let somebody go at our job, our company, and she filed for unemployment. Now that is absolutely ridiculous. That I cannot fathom why.
What does the law say?
The law says at least 2 quarter periods, right? 2 quarter base periods. So that means at least like 6 months. That's at least 6 months.
So you guys denied the request?
No, but she got approved for the request. She's the Department of Labor approved her request for unemployment.
So your boss is not a very happy person.
No, but now we had to pay unemployment to somebody who only worked for us for 2 weeks.
Well, maybe you should have thought of that before you let him go.
No, but I'm just saying I thought it was 6 months. I thought in New York City you have to work at least 6 months at a company, at a job, and also be paid a base salary of at least $1,400. But we didn't pay her a base salary of $1,400. We paid her much less than that. So how is it possible that she can file for unemployment and get approved right away? I don't understand that.
So it sounds like she's going to make more off of unemployment than she ever did on the job.
That's what it sounds like. I don't know how to fight this. I don't know what we should do about this. But it just came as a shock. We got to fill out some paperwork now. I got to fill out some paperwork and send it to the Department of Labor saying that I don't think that she should be receiving this. So it's just a whole mess right now. I just want to know what the law is. I don't think the law is 2 weeks. I mean, how can you just go for like a couple of weeks and then all of a sudden receive more money than on unemployment than you did working on the job?
What's the next step here? Do you file and then wait? Are you filing an appeal? Are you even allowed to deny it?
You can appeal it, but it's going to take you got to do it in writing, and then it's a whole process. That it's just a pain in the butt, basically.
So in the meantime, they're collecting.
Well, we just received a letter from them saying that she's eligible. I don't know when she's going to start collecting, but she is eligible. So we got to fill out a form and return it to the Department of Labor, and then see what they say.
Oh my goodness. Well, good luck to you, because I don't think you're gonna. By the time you hear back, it'll probably be 6 months from now.
That's what I'm afraid of. So I don't understand how this is all possible, but apparently the rules have changed, and a lot. See, this is another thing. I think this is one of the reasons why people abusing unemployment benefits. This is another reason. You get let go after 2 weeks, and you're starting collecting unemployment. That's ridiculous.
All right, G-Money. I think that's it for the Fast Break this week. We'll catch you next time.
Take care, everybody.